Hello, students. Today we will continue the same chapter, adolescence. We have studied in the previous videos about the target site. In a flowchart, it was given that the hormones from the main gland, pituitary gland, it's stimulating and releasing testosterone and estrogen, which is directly poured into the bloodstream and it's reaching to the target site and stimulating the body for the onset of puberty. Today we'll begin with the reproductive phase of life in humans. Adolescents are capable of reproducing when their testes and ovaries begins to produce gametes. The capacity of maturation and production of gametes lasts for a much longer time in males than in comparison to the females. In females, the reproductive phase begins from the age of 10 to 12 years and it approximately lasts up to 40 to 45 years. The mature ova on the onset of puberty released by an ovary once upon in 28 to 38 days 30 days. During this period, the wall of the uterus becomes thick so that it can receive the egg, and in case it gets fertilized, it begins to develop, and this results in pregnancy. If certain fertilization doesn't occur, then the released egg in the uterus do not fertilize, and hence the thickening lining of the uterus along with the blood sheds off, and this is called as menstruation. The menstruation occurs in about 28 to 30 days every month in a woman. The beginning or the onset of puberty is called as menarche, which is at the beginning of 10 to 12 years, and at the age of 45 to 50 years, when the menstrual cycle stops, it is called as menopause. Menstrual cycle at the beginning on the onset might be regular in some of the girls, but it takes some time to become regular due to the secretion of hormones. The menstrual cycle is also controlled by the main master gland, that is your pituitary gland. The uterine wall and its breakdown, pregnancy occurs or does not occurs, all these things are controlled by the release of hormones. In case the egg is fertilized, it begins to divide and then gets embedded in the uterus for the further development. Next, you can see the definitions of menstrual cycle and menstruation. It's given there. You can note it down in your copies. Definition of menarche and menopause is also given. You can just note it down in your copies. Now, next topic is your how is the sex of the baby determined? That means the baby which is in the womb of the mother, whether it will be a boy or a girl. Inside the fertilized egg or zygote, the instruction for determining the sex of a baby is present in the thread like structures called chromosomes, which you have already studied in the chapter 8 cell. All human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes in their nuclei of the cell, and two chromosomes out of 23 pairs are the sex chromosomes, and the name of those chromosomes are X and Y. Female has two X chromosomes while the male has one X and one Y chromosome. The unfertilized egg always has one X chromosome, but sperms are of two kinds. One has the X chromosome, on the other hand, they has the Y chromosomes. When a sperm containing X chromosome fertilize the egg, the zygote would be have two X chromosomes, then it develops into a female child. Whereas if the sperm contributes a Y chromosome to the egg at fertilization, the zygote would develop into a XY bonding, that is a male child. You can see in your book figure 10.4. This one is there in the book. Sperm giving XY chromosome, then it will be a boy child. Sperm producing a X chromosome, then it will be a girl child. Next, hormones other than the sex hormones. Sex hormones you have studied, the testes releasing testosterone, the ovaries releasing estrogen. Other than that, apart from that, the pituitary releases some other hormones also from the gland through the ducts, and those are thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas. Thyroid gland releases the hormone thyroxine, which stimulates respiration and growth rate, and the lack of thyroxine can cause goiter. Adrenal gland releases adrenaline, which is present on the top of the kidney, maintains correct salt balance in blood, controls pressures, and helps the body to fight stress. It helps in 3F: fight, flight, and fright. Pancreas releases insulin. That function is to help in sugar metabolism, controlling sugar metabolism, and lack of insulin causes diabetes. You can see in the picture, it's given in your book also, 10.5, the different glands along with the release of different hormones. Now, role of hormones in completing the life history of insects and frogs. You have seen and studied this in class 7. The complete change, which is called as metamorphosis, the silk moth story. Similarly, the tadpole passes through certain stages to become a frog. And during this process, this changes from a larva to an adult, and it is called as metamorphosis. Metamorphosis in insects is controlled by an insect hormones. They also release hormones. In frogs, it is controlled by thyroxine, the hormone that is produced by their thyroid. Thyroxine production requires the presence of iodine in water, and if the water in which the tadpole are growing does not contain sufficient iodine, then the tadpoles cannot become adults. You can see the whole metamorphosis process. It's given there: eggs to embryo, then small larvas, then slowly when the iodine they are getting, they are becoming into an adult frog. Thank you. In the next video, we'll continue with the reproductive health.